Greetings and welcome to a live Meet Kevin report. Today, I, as a 27-year-old real estate broker and investor, am going to show you how I look for real estate deals. I was debating whether or not I should do this video because it's probably pretty dumb since I'm kind of showing you how I look for deals, and that means you might take my deals. But I guess that's a risk worth taking for the fact that I like sharing and educating. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And I'm sure we'll be talking about fish and coffee like we always do. But anyway, in the meantime, first things first, when you're looking for real estate deals, I don't care who you are, how much money you got. If you do not have a pre-approval letter, you should not be looking for deals because there's nothing worse than finding a good deal and not being able to buy it. So get pre-approved, ideally get pre-underwritten as well. But let's go ahead and jump right in. We're going to start with the multiple listing service, which obviously you're going to need an agent to get into the multiple listing service and get your portal set up there. But I'm going to show you how I look on the multiple listing service. You can do a lot of this on Zillow, Realtor.com as well. I'm going to show you some of the searches that I use, and we're going to go ahead and start with, well, my neck of the woods. So here goes nothing, I guess. So we'll hop on over. Let's use that angle. There we go. Actually, you know what? Here, I got a bigger angle. How's that? Look at that. That's beautiful. So when you first look at how many listings are on the market, you'll kind of get blown up a little bit. Oh, thanks so much for the shout out for my Miami crash course there. That was fun. Anyway, you get this overwhelming amount of listings anytime you first open up a portal. And so the very first thing I like to do is I like to start with my city. I'm going to start with the particular city that I live in. And the worst thing to do is kind of look at the list and then just look at like what the absolute cheapest properties are. That's usually a bad idea. So I'd much rather jump into a city. And usually I always start with residential income properties. There are some people out there that are like, oh, Kevin only likes single family. No, I actually really like multifamily as well. It's just oftentimes a lot harder to get a residential income or multifamily deal. So I'm going to start with multifamily. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and narrow down to the city of Ventura so I can see my multifamily deal and you can see there are only 12 available. I always start with the lowest days on the market because lowest days on the market are the properties that are most likely to have the greatest potential. And this is where you can kind of start looking at basically some of your newer properties here. So a couple that I particularly want to look at is here you've got a beach duplex. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And if you were interested in doing an Airbnb, this could actually be a really good potential because you've got 2 units that you could Airbnb, and it's in a pretty prime location of Ventura here, Bay Shore, Ventura, California. And the most important thing when you're looking at real estate listings is the location. If I look at the map and I see that the unit's like right there next to the freeway, I don't even look any further. I don't look at the comps. I don't even open the listing. I really don't care. Like, it's hard for you to pay me to buy stuff that's in a bad location. So if it's in a bad location, I don't care. This property, if you look, it's actually in a pretty freaking great location. It's like 6 lots in from a street over here. That's Peninsula. That's a little bit busier. It's one of these here on the left or right. It's on sort of a regular residential neighborhood street here. And another thing I particularly like about this is on this side, you have duplexes, but on this side, you have pretty decent and nice single family houses, which is great. But not only that, if I then jump on over to the other side, I get these sort of duplexes on this side, but the houses on this side, I got duplexes. Remember, I got duplexes, kind of like I got fish. But you jump on over to the other side. What's really cool about this kind of location is if you've got dock homes on the other side. So you've got really high value real estate, especially for multifamily real estate here. The problem with looking at high value multifamily real estate is the price can be ridiculous. It's $1.2 million, well, almost $1.3 million for a duplex. That is a lot of money. And Arrow, thank you so much for the $5 donation. We will definitely be hitting that. So residential income, I will always look at my new residential income deals that hit the MLS. The problem is when multifamily real estate hits the MLS, it's really hard to get a good price on it. So I usually don't prefer my multifamily real estate search on the MLS. Usually my best preference for finding multifamily deals is if I can get a deal that has not hit the market yet and get into a multifamily like that, I'm usually able to get rents below market value, pay based on lower cap rates because the rents are below market value, and then buy it, raise the rents, and move on. There are times deals like this will hit the market, though. I've sold many multifamily deals that have hit the market and have been below market value deals as residential income. It's just a lot more rare. And when you look at it, why is it rare? Take a look at why. Well, that's that button. There. Take a look. You've got 12 listings in a city of 110,000 people. And when you start throwing out the ones that you don't want, in my opinion, like I don't want a church. I don't care for this one. I don't personally care for this one. There's nothing necessarily wrong with it. But when I start unchecking, I'm down to 9 decent ones. And that's because I'm taking out weird kind of industrial, churches, whatever, things I don't really care about. So those things gotta go. The next thing that I do while I'm on the MLS, because I'm going to talk to you a little bit about where else you can look besides the MLS for these deals. But the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to look for my regular sort of single family deals. So the way I'm going to do that, and I'll show you exactly this, is pretty much we're going to jump back on over to my little split screen here. I'm going to go back to residential, same thing we showed you, except this time because I keep up on this, I'm going to go county-wide. I could do this on residential income as well. I'm going to go county-wide for deals here. And we'll let those populate here. So I got 1,044 or 1,477 deals. Now, in every given area, you should know what price range you're looking in. I personally know that I'm looking for a single family. If I'm looking for single family, this is a single family category. So everything here is going to be single family. I personally am not going to be interested in a lot, a condo, or townhouse, though condos and townhouses can be a good way to start. We talk about how to qualify those in the real estate investing course. And you all know the coupon code is linked below, 23% off. With that coupon code, I got fish. No, it's 10x the fish. That's the code. The code's 10x the fish. That's funny. Okay, anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and check single family. And hold on, I know this is a little cut off here, so let me just box over like this. There we go. So I'm going to check a single family. That's going to narrow me down from 1,400 to 1,100. But here's another thing that I'm going to do that a lot of people don't necessarily do, but I think it's good because it's going to narrow your focus and it's really going to keep you in that zone that you care about. I'm not interested in the really, really, really cheap stuff. Like anything under $300,000, probably not going to buy. Realistically, I know in my market, I'm not going to look for anything under $375,000. It's going to be in a location that sucks, or it's just not even going to be something I'm going to consider. It's going to be a burned down house, something I have to redev, whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and put in $375,000, and let's go up to $700,000. Because remember, our median price, thank you so much, by the way, for the $10 there. Our median price point in our city is about $590,000 to $600,000. So I really don't want to exceed the median. So I'm only going a little bit above the median. But my goal is if I could find a house for $455, that's going to be worth, somewhere between $5 and $650. That's going to be a pretty good deal in this county. So the next thing that I usually do, I'm going to stay on search here for a second when it loads again. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take off anything that has a pool. So if it says, but here's a very important trick. You have to use the negative. So I'm going to say pool, yes, but then I'm going to say not of yes. And that's just because the way agents put stuff in can be really funky sometimes. Although for some reason this doesn't seem to be, it doesn't look like it refreshed my not yet. Or I want not. So we'll wait for that to load. Okay, then the next thing that I'm going to do is I know I don't need a massive house. The bigger the house, the more I'm going to have to deal with on this property. So I'm not super jazzed about that. I'm going to go ahead and put in a cap of probably somewhere around 2,800 square feet. I don't want any 4,000 square foot houses. I just don't want to deal with it. And look, I'm already down to like 256 here, right? This is a lot more of something I could deal with than 1,400 listings. I can't go through 1,400 listings. And the smallest property I probably am going to want to work on is going to be, I'd say 1,100 square feet, but I'm just going to go ahead and say 1,050 to give it a little bit of a buffer. I'm not going to really want to hold something long-term that's smaller than that in this area. Sometimes you can get little 2-in-1s and they're worth it. But that's the other thing I don't want. I don't want any property with any less than 2 bathrooms. Because remember, at this, I'm just looking for a basic kind of rental deal that's going to be a good deal. Now, after doing all of that narrowing down, only now am I going to go over to the list. And what I'm going to do is I'm always going to sort by ascending days on the mark. What do you mean my markup is 25%? I'm always going to sort by days on the market. The reason for that is, again, just like with multifamily, these are the most urgent deals. If a property's been on the market for 90 days, I bet you I got a couple days to think about it and go drive by and lowball it and screw around and call the listing agent, whatever. If a property's 0 days on the market, I gotta move and I got fish. Sorry, it just doesn't get old. Okay, so anyway, jokes on a live stream. Anyway, can't edit. You can't edit out bad jokes on a live stream. Okay, so let's go back to this list here. All right, here we go. Let's make sure we're not cut off over here. There we go. All right, perfect. So the next thing that I'm going to do is, so we sorted all of these by days on the market, which is good. But what I really want to do now is look for streets that I know. Being a real estate agent, I know where a lot of these streets are, and a lot of them I could tell you, oh, okay, yeah. I know, for example, that Santa Paula Street in Santa Paula is a busier kind of through street. You could see that here. But I know that Santa Barbara Street is a quieter street. But I also know 574 in this area, it's probably something that's a little bit more remodeled. If this was like a 475, it'd be something I'd be more interested in clicking in or on. But let's say I didn't know the market so well, and I wasn't yet, 100% on what I was looking for. The easy thing that you can do when you're looking for deals is literally just flip through the pictures and look at that. This is like, I'm already done. Like, I don't need to look any further. As soon as I see this remodeled kitchen, the tiling, it doesn't look like crap. The first 5 pictures, I'm moving on to the next one. Devonshire 620, that's a lot of money for this area. And look at that. They got like travertine tile on the outside, dual pane windows. Look at that garage door. It's like a $2,000 garage door. You think I'm going to get a good deal on that one? Probably not. Sure enough, the inside's remodeled. Okay, next, Ralston. I know this is a busy street. I don't even care. I don't even want to look at it anymore. This is interesting. It's got dual paned windows. It's got some stucco damage. By the way, I analyze deals like this all the time on our live streams in the investing course. And I love that they took a picture with trash cans blocking the trailer. Like, it's actually kind of like sad, but okay. And so classic. When the pictures on the outside are kind of bad, what happens on the inside? You go on the inside, it's acoustic ceilings. It's older. It's kind of dated. So we've got some dated elements going on in here. See, they're obviously in the midst of moving. There's some dated elements, but again, I know this, and we'll do some comps in a second here. 585 on Robert Ave, even though these pictures look like they have potential, I know 585 on Robert Ave, that is priced to perfection. Best case scenario, somebody's getting a market deal on that. Kimber Drive on Newbury Park. See, I know that Village, these are senior communities. Don't care about that. Ventura Park Road, not interested. It's a busier road. Newer construction, lower chance I'm going to be able to get a deal on this. And knowing that this is River Park for 680, I know I'm not getting a penny of a deal on here. So what do we got here? Here's Cardigan, this is an interesting one. This is why can't I say it? Cardinal. There we go. This is on Cardinal. And what's interesting about this one is look at the first picture. It's one of my favorite yeah-buts. Not only do you have the high tension power lines, the regular power lines right here, you've got high tension power lines in the back, like the big ones on the metal towers. And you can actually see that by going to the map. It's just another way to tell you, like, hey, when you're looking at deals, you start with location, you start with these pieces. But when I see these towers in the backyard and they're literally in my backyard, not interested. So then I see this. I go, whoa, wait a minute. Like, hard stop right here. I see, I'm kind of scrolling around, making sure I'm not losing my mind here. But I see something like this. I go, wait a minute, what is this? $525 for a single in Camarillo. Like, I don't know this street name. I don't know that street name at all, but I do know, 525 in Camarillo, that seems like a low price. I mean, if a property on Cardinal in Ventura is next to high tension power lines, and then here's one for 525 that's in Camarillo, which Camarillo usually goes for 50 grand more than Ventura, and the odds of it being next to high tension power lines are lower, then that has more potential. So then this is where I get interested. And what's the first thing we do? Well, first thing we do is change the camera to that. And we look at the actual property. We go, okay, cool. So we're not up against a busy street. We are, though, against the opposite side of a street that is busier. Las Postas is one of the most busy streets in Camarillo. I happen to know that this part of town has an excellent school district. That's good to know. And you happen to look around and you go, okay, this is a single family neighborhood, not a lot of apartment buildings nearby, less rental competition. We look a little further. I like zooming out a little bit as well, kind of seeing what kind of amenities are around. So what do we got here? We got a plaza over here. Google Maps is better for doing this, by the way. And that way you can kind of see what developments are going on. If you keep seeing things like, thrift store next to the discount vape shop, then you kind of already get like a little bit of an indication of what real estate is like in that area. It doesn't even matter, what you're looking at, whether it's multifamily or single. It doesn't matter, right? But here, look, you got a Supercuts, UPS store, you got a Starbucks. Perfect. Oh, look at that. This to me is a sign that Starbucks is a newer construction Starbucks, because look, on Google Maps, it's still a lot, but now it has a pin that it's a Starbucks. Which is good. So blenders in the grass. Okay, so location seem, you got some cool things in the area. Location, it doesn't have any problems. Seems like it has sort of like a median-sized lot. This is an interesting property. So this is the kind of property where I would, check the box or I'd write it down. I'll probably deselect all my multifamily deals here. And we will go ahead. No, Cash, I don't mean to say that vape shop guarantees you're in a poorer area. It's more to say that usually vape shops, liquor stores, what are like the Salvation Armies, companies that can't afford higher rents, like the Starbucks, the Targets, and the Best Buys, usually go to areas where the neighborhood rents are also lower. And remember, I want to be in an area where I'm buying a deal that's below market value. So for me to get a deal that's below market value, I have to go into something and find, okay, where are values high to start with? And where can I buy something cheaper? That's what I want. That to me is the trick of real estate is how can you figure out, okay, I'm going to, go into multifamily, residential development. If I'm buying in Miami Beach, I want to be as close as possible as I can be to maybe the higher end restaurants, the more luxury streets that have really nice amenities, because that's going to keep my tenants in that neighborhood longer. If they decide they have children or they want to have children or they adopt children, I don't really care. But if people have places to go for dinner or coffee or computers or whatever, and they can go spend money, then they're more likely to stay longer. And there's one thing that's the kiss of death in real estate. It's turnover. Tenant turnover is terrible because every time you have to go through the arduous screening processes, it's a mess. I'm just not interested in it. So let's go ahead and go back to this deal here. All right, so I got to push that button. So let's go back here. Where were we? Okay, so we checked the box on a deal. What else do we got? So I think my list is out of order now. Yeah, it is out of order. So, okay, starting at the bottom is really nice because you're looking at newer deals. I've already checked one now that I really like. So what else do we have? Here's another one, Hacienda. That one seems a little cheap. Let me make sure this is checked really quick. Check that box. Why does this one seem so cheap? And is there anything else here? Nope. Okay. So why does this one seem cheap? Let's go ahead and look at the map first. Look at that right away. Not interested. Not interested at all. Without me even saying anything, you should look at this screen and say to yourself, why is Kevin not interested in that deal? It's $525. It's the same price as the last property he just said he was interested in. But there you go. I'm not interested. Why? Because it's right. It backs up to Mission Oaks Boulevard. It's a busy street. Not interested. Maybe somebody else is, but I ain't. So, and I get a lot of questions on LLCs, folks. I'm doing an updated lecture, by the way, in the real estate investing course on all of my new updated thoughts on LLCs because they've evolved a little bit. But ordinarily, most people, they try to delay buying real estate because they think they need to have an LLC. You don't need an LLC to start. Yeah, this is pretty much priced to perfection. Here's one on Ellington, which what's actually cool about this, let me see here. Oh, wow, no freaking way. Wow. So this, by the way, is another reason I really like looking for deals is I own a 2,300 square foot house in this neighborhood that I bought for $515,000. And this house, let's do that. This house just hit the market, a few days ago for almost $700,000. It's remodeled, but it's only 1,600 square feet. So I look at that and I go, cha-ching, sweet. So this is why when you're a real estate investor, like you're always looking at deals because like in your mind, you're updating. Okay, sweet, more equity, good. You kind of understand what values are in a certain area. Now we'll do comps too on another deal here, but I just want to see if I can find anything else. Usually once I start going past about 10 days on the market in any area, the property either has a bunch of offers on it, or for some reason they're delaying when they're going to get back to offers, or there's something about it that just makes it not as valuable. So all of these places here, all of these kind of listings that I'm just kind of scrolling down the list here, all of this other stuff that's beyond, once I get to 10 days on the market, usually not that excited. I will say though, here on Student, this neighborhood is known for foundation issues. This is another reason why I always talk about it's good to have a really good real estate agent in your court because they'll tell you these things. Okay, so this neighborhood's known for foundation issues. This is good though. There's only one picture. Yes, I like that. Hold on, let me just make sure I'm not sharing any information that I'm going to get in trouble for sharing. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, so okay, I'll just scroll to this and then I'll read this out. Okay. No, I think all of this is pretty much public info. There we go. Okay. So this says desirable location below college. Below college, great area, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, hardwood floors throughout, spacious living room with gas log fireplace. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so maybe it's dated, but newer 40-gallon water heater, washer, dryer included, reverse osmosis. Okay, I mean, original kitchen and baths with classic 50s tile. There you go. So that's actually good. To me, this is something where I would actually check this and I would kind of keep this on my list. So we didn't really find anything that I liked on the multifamily front. The single family front, I've got a couple things that I want to check out, and we'll do some comps on some of these, and then I'll answer some questions here in the live. But let's see what else. So no pictures is a good thing. Let's just look at the map. Okay, good. So this is another good thing. Remember, it's all about that location. All about that location. So this is not bad. You've got your busy road up here. It's off the busier entrance road by one lot, which is okay. That's perfect. So I'm okay with that location. The location's pretty good. I would definitely be checking for any kind of possible foundation issues in the area, just based on prior experience. Now, before I run any comps on anything, I'm going to do one more thing, and I'm going to go to LoopNet. LoopNet is the place where you can find commercial property. So you're going to maybe look for multifamily or commercial or whatever. This is often, another place that I sort of just check in my regular searchings for deals. And there's really nothing new here as is usual. But initially, this place for $1.3 million, which sounds crazy, stands out. But they're telling me a 6.19% cap rate in Ventura, which honestly, the usual cap, like selling cap in Ventura is like 3.5%. So that sounds really good. The problem is I got this Main Street address, and I'm pretty sure this building's not actually on Main Street. So we have to find out where this particular parcel is. And I believe here it is. There it is. So let's open up this parcel. You can actually see it's down next to this mobile home park right here. And it's below some more commercial property. So this is where you start looking, you go, oh, here it is. Okay. So you got these 5 houses right here, sandwiched behind Enterprise Truck Rental, next to the mobile home park, next to Robert Surf Shop, 101 School of Trucking, and Windy Nation. So everything's commercial here. That's why they're pulling a higher value. It's, long flag lot. You're going to have issues possibly with easements. And having a tenant here is going to be a little bit more challenging unless they like being secluded like this. It's a much more unique property, and that's why it's probably selling at a discounted rate, but it's not one that I'd be interested in because I'd rather go buy over here where everything is a much more homogenous area. You know, if I go over here and I drop a pin on I don't know, let's drop a pin on South Brent Street here. This to me is, oh wow, look, this guy got his house blurred out on Google Maps. I get a much more kind of neighbor. I mean, look at this. Like I totally randomly dropped the pin. And look, I got kids playing outside. You know, I got people out and about doing things. I got people remodeling over here. This is much more, you know, ideal. Like this is the kind of street I would be looking for duplexes on, fourplexes on, a triplex, whatever, because I've got something that's much more rentable, something where people want to actually live for a longer period of time. That's ideal for me. Now, the last thing when it comes for shopping for deals is after I look for deals, I want to look at comps. So let's just go ahead and do comps on student. So let's see if student is a deal. So we'll pick student to run at comps. So we know it's a 3 and 2. We're going to go search for the map. You could do the same thing on Zillow, by the way. Actually, you know what I'll do just to show you that you can is I will do it on Zillow. Oops, there we go. I'm watching my own live stream there going back too far. Okay, so what was the address on whatever, I'll just find it here. So let's go to Ventura, California. Okay. And we're going to zoom in to specifically that neighborhood. The biggest mistake people make when they look at comparable sales is they start walking too far. They don't sort of respect staying within the boundaries of where the neighborhood is they're looking at. So here's Student Street. You can see the red pin is the neighborhood for sale. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just draw my little boundaries here. I don't want to go too far to any side because I really just want to stay close. And we're going to look at this $599 deal here. It's 1,354 square feet. And we know we have 2 bathrooms. We're going to go ahead and drop square footage down to 1,500 as a cap for right now. Let's go ahead and see what we get here. So we'll just make me a little bit bigger there for a moment. Okay, so this is interesting. First thing I see here is a sold on Varsity for $540. That doesn't make me feel so good. Actually, we got 2 sales here for $540. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can open up these sales for $540. And but look, these are against Telegraph Road, the busy road, with the exception of that one for $540. That's interesting. So that one merits investigating to see why did this property sell low, even though it's not against the busy street. And then yet we have a deal here for $680,000, and here's one for $700,000. So this is where we start seeing, okay, remodeled comps are around 700. This place is listed for 590. How much remodeling would I have to do to this 599 deal, and how cheaply can I get it? And this place right here, this isn't even highly remodeled. How cheaply can I get it to start pushing a value like 680? So that becomes the challenge. And that's how you want to, in my opinion, hunt for real estate deals. The other one in Camarillo, that one, let's just put it this way. The other one in Camarillo, I ran the comps on it. I want you to do your homework on that other deal. If you're really passionate about this, well, you can join me in the investing course, you know that. But do your homework on that other deal. Run the comps for yourself and see what you find on that other deal. The student one has potential, but look at that other one. Let me know what you think about that. I set it up for you, all right? Folks, there you have it. That's all I'm going to do for today. I've been talking too much. I can't believe it's already almost been 30 minutes. I'll be back tomorrow. So we will see you. Appreciate y'all being here. Thank you so much for watching me look at properties and real estate, which is what I like to do. We'll see y'all later.